Pranam Swamiji.
Namaskar Swamiji.
We are now doing the study of Shiva Sankalpa Suktam with Swamiji. This is our fourth session. A very warm welcome to everyone here. Please do indicate on the chat if you would like to ask Swamiji any question after the discourse. The last half hour is for questions with Swamiji. We will begin our class with Jyoti Menon's chanting Shiva Sankalpa Suktam. Before that, Jyoti will chant Dharma Shastava invocation, as this is our first class since Mandala Masam has begun. Jyoti?
Thank you, Nirmala. Namaste, Vanana. Pranam Swamiji. Bhutanada Sadananda Sarva Bhuta Dayapara Raksha Raksha Mahabaho Shastre Tubhyam Namo Namaha Yajjāgrato dūramudaiti daivaṃ tadu suptasya tathaivaiti dūraṅgamaṃ jyotiṣāṃ jyotirekaṃ tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu yena karmāṇyapaso manīṣiṇo yajñe kṛṇvanti vidatheṣu dhīrāḥ yadapūrvaṃ yakṣamantaḥ prajānāṃ tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu yat prajānāṃ ceto dhritischa yajjotirantaraṃ prajasu yasmānna'ṛte kinchana karma kriyate tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu yenetam bhutam bhuvanam bhavishyat parigrahitamamritena sarvam yena yajñastāyate saptahota tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu yasmin rajasāma yajumshi yasmin pratishtita rathana bhavivaraha yasmischittam sarvamodam prajānāṃ tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu susharadhirashvani vayan manushyan neniyate bhishubhirvajina iva pratishtam yajiram javishtham tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu.
Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. So in this session, we are studying Shiva Sankalpa Suktam. A Suktam consisting of 6 mantras. And we have seen the first two mantras in our last sittings. In all the 6 mantras, one prayer is repeated. Me manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu. Let my mind be pure, filled with auspicious thoughts. This is the prayer repeated in all the mantras. So in the first mantra, yajjāgrato dūramudaiti daivaṃ, tadu suptasya tathaivaiti, dūraṅgamaṃ jyotiṣāṃ jyotirekaṃ, tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu. That which is going to far off places in the waking state, and in the same way that which is going to distant places in the state of a dream, that mind, the one without a second, and that which is giving light to all other senses, which is of the nature of effulgence, that mind, let it be pure and filled with auspicious thoughts. This was the first mantra. Then we have seen the second mantra, yena karmāṇyapaso manīṣiṇo, yajñe kṛṇvanti vidatheṣu dhīrāḥ, yadapūrvaṃ yakṣamantaḥ prajānāṃ, tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu. By which scholars or those having the knowledge related with all karmas enjoined in the Vedas, those apasaha, doers of such karma, with a real knowledge, that is knowledge regarding all the Vedic karmas, with that knowledge, by which they are doing these karmas. There is no doubt. With the mind, by the mind they are doing. While performing rituals or while doing worldly duties or karmas, activities, we are working with many instruments. We are using our hands, we are using our legs, all the body parts we are using. But with the mind, we are doing all these activities. Behind all other senses and organs of action, there is the mind. Only because of mind, all these are working. So it is said, yena, by which manīṣiṇo, scholars, those who have controlled their minds, they are doing. kṛṇvanti, they are doing different activities. That is different karmas, which altogether make Vedic yajña, that with the help of mind they are doing. And that is the yakṣam who is staying inside. Antaha yakṣam. Yakṣam means that which is to be worshipped. That mind, let it be pure and filled with auspicious thoughts. Now today we are going to take the third mantra. What is that? Yat prajnānamuta cheto dhritischa yajyotirāṃ prajāsu yasmānna'ṛte kinchana karma kriyate tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu. Yat prajnānamuta cheto dhritischa yajyotirāṃ prajāsu yasmānna'ṛte kinchana karma kriyate tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu. Yat prajnānam uta chetaha dhritihi cha yad jyotihi antaha amritam prajasu yasmād na rite kinchana karma kriyate tadu me manaḥ śivasaṅkalpam astu. This is the breakdown of words. So here also yad is there, that which. Yad means that which. So yad prajnānam, that which is taking the shape of or taking the form of prajnānam, uta or chetaha, that which is acting as or that which is taking the form of chetaha, and that which is taking the form of dhritihi, or which is acting as dhriti, yad, and that which is jyotihi, the effulgence, the light, where antaha, inside, and yad amritam, that which is really of the form of amritam, immortal, that mind, tadu manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu. And again it is said, yasmānna'ṛte kinchana karmana kriyate, without which nobody can do anything, without which no work is being performed. That mind, let it be pure and auspicious. So this is the simple meaning. Let us go a little more deeper. See, it is said the same mind is taking the form of prajnānam, chetaha, and dhriti. All these are different functions of our antakarana. These are different functions. And according to the functions, we are calling different names. First, it is said prajnānam. What is prajnānam? The first and the basic meaning of prajnānam is knowledge, real knowledge. That is the first meaning. Prakrishtam jnanam prajnānam. prakrishtam jnanam. That is real knowledge or the higher knowledge. That is prajnanam. And we can take in another sense also. Prakarshena jñāyate anena iti prajnanam. By which we are knowing, by which we are cognizing. That is prajnanam. And if we are ready to go still more higher, the meaning of prajnanam will be the self, atma. For example, in the Mahavakya of the Rigveda, which we can study in the Aitareya Upanishad, we will see the Mahavakya as prajnanam brahma. So the term prajnana is there, prajnanam. There the meaning of the prajnanam is self, the Atman, who is getting all knowledge, who is seeing, who is hearing, who is getting all the knowledge through all limbs or all sense organs. Through all our senses of cognition, we are getting the knowledge. And who is getting all this knowledge? So in our daily life, we are saying, I am seeing this, I am seeing that, I am hearing this and that, or I am smelling, or I am touching. So through our senses, we are getting different cognitions. And actually, who is getting all this? It is nobody else. I am. This I, who is getting all knowledge, all jnanam, is called prajnanam. Yenekshate shrunotidam jighrati vyakaroti cha swadva swadu vijanati tat prajnanamudiritam. So says Vidyaranya Swami in his Panchadashi. Yenekshate shrunotidam jighrati vyakaroti cha swadva swadu vijanati tat prajnanamudiritam. That means yenekshate, by whom these are being seen. Shrunoti, by whom these are heard. Jighrati, smell, who is smelling. Vyakaroti, who is speaking. By whom words are uttered or pronounced. Swadva swadu vijanadi, by whom the perception of swadu and aswadu. Swadu is taste and aswadu tasteless. So all this, who is getting all this? Who is behind all this? Or behind all the cognitions, behind the process of cognition, who is there? Senses of cognition are giving this knowledge, but who is getting all this? That self, that Atman is called prajnanam. Tad prajnanamudiritam. That is prajnanam. So the highest meaning of prajnanam is the Atman. The Atman. So we can take here different meanings for prajnanam. First is knowledge, real knowledge. And the second is by which we are getting the knowledge. We are getting all the cognitions, that cognizing faculty. And the highest meaning, of course, is the self. So how we will connect here? In the last two mantras, we have seen two meanings. One to mean the mind, and the second to mean the Atman. So in the first level, we will take prajnanam as to mean by which we are getting all the knowledge. By which we are getting all the knowledge. That prajnanam, it is mind. It is a function of the mind. It is a function of antakarana. So yad prajnanam, that which is taking the form of prajnanam, uta, or uta can be translated as and. Uta can be translated as or it can be taken as a usage without any meaning. Uta. But here we can take it as and or. So that which is taking the form of a chetaha. Chetaha. What is chetaha? Chetaha is the intelligence within. Or we can say chetaha is the intellect. Chetaha is the wisdom. Chetaha is knowledge. So according to the place where it is used, we will get different meanings for chetaha. It can be wisdom, it can be knowledge, it can be intellect, it can be intelligence. So all these meanings we can take. So the mind, it is taking the form of chetaha. That is, actually mind is intelligence, or it is taking the form of intellect. So yad prajnanam uta chetaha, and dhritihi. Dhritihi. See, there are many words in Sanskrita which we cannot translate to any other language. We can explain, of course, but translating is much difficult. For example, how we will translate to dhriti? Dhriti is, in a sense, it is courage. In a sense, it is fearlessness. In a sense, it is stability or steadiness. But dhriti is all these. We cannot limit the meaning of dhriti as steadiness. Dhriti is steadiness. Dhriti is courage. Dhriti is fearlessness. And in a sense, dhriti is steadfastness. So according to the place where we are using the term, we will have to take the meaning. Dhriti is dhriti. For example, just to imagine a person who met with a big mishap. And he's suffering much with, for example, broken limbs or broken hands, and too much tired because of many sickness or that mishap. Even in the midst of all these sufferings and problems, even in the midst of a bundle of sufferings and pains, if he is standing up and facing that situation with equanimity within, of course pain is there, problems are there, sufferings are there, but still If he is standing up and facing that situation with equanimity, then we will say he is having dhriti. That is dhriti. That is that quality. Steadiness, even in the midst of suffering. Courage, keeping that courage, or being fearless in the midst of all difficult situations, in the midst of all difficulties. That is dhriti. So that also is a function or a quality of the antakarana. So the same mind is taking the form of dhriti. That same mind is taking the form of prajnānam, and that is taking the form of chetaha. So yat prajnānam uta cheto dhritischa yad jyotirantaha yad jyotihi, that which is the effulgence within, which is giving light to all other senses of cognition. What is that? From where our eyes are getting that light? That is from within. So, yad antaha jyotihi, that effulgence within. What is that? The same antakarana is taking the form of that. Yad antaha jyotihi. And it is amritam. Amritam, the immortal being. When we are taking the meaning as the mind, then we will have to take the meaning of amritam in a relative plane, not in the absolute sense. If we have to take the meaning in the absolute sense, then of course there is no other way than taking this to mean the Atman. If we are taking the meaning as the mind, then amritam is a relative usage, not in the ultimate sense. Because amritam is immortal. So, here, in a relative sense, we can use that word. How? See, all the senses are working. For example, this eye is seeing, or this ear is hearing. It is bringing sound and it is offering. So with that offering process is duty ends. There is no more duty for him. Then it is being offered to the antakarana and it is preserved in the antakarana. That knowledge, it is preserved there inside, within the antakarana. Now there is no more duty for the eyes or ears or external limbs. So comparatively, antakarana is amritam, immortal. So in that relative level, we can take the meaning immortal. So which is immortal, which is of the form of effulgence within. That is yajyotihi antaha amritam, where prajasu, in all beings, praja is creature. Praja is prakarshena jayante iti prajaha. So all the beings in this universe are prajas. So prajasu means in the prajas, in the beings, in all beings. The antakarana is there within as effulgence, and its real nature is immortal nature, and it is taking the form of prajnanam, chetaha and dhriti. That mind, that antakaranam, let it be pure. Let it be filled with auspicious thoughts. Shivasaṅkalpamastu. And what antakaranam? Yasmānna'ṛte kinchana karmana kriyate. Without which no works are being performed. We cannot do anything without the mind. For the eyes to work, for the ears to work, for the hands to work, for the legs to work, mind must work. Without mind, no other limbs will work. So, mind is working as the head of all other limbs. Because of the mind, all these are working, all these are functioning. So that is well said here. Yasmānna'ṛte na kinchana karma kriyate. No work is being done. Kriyate, na kriyate, being done. No, na kriyate. Yasmānna'ṛte, without which. Yasmānna'ṛte means without which no activities are being performed. That means this is the highest faculty which is responsible for all the activities we are doing. That mind, tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu. That mind, let it be pure and auspicious. This is the prayer. So, let us go through these words once more. Yadu, that which is taking the form of prajnanam, intellect or intelligence, uta and chetaha, that which is giving life, that which is giving light, that which is responsible for all the knowledge we are having, and dhritischa, which is taking the form of fearlessness or courage or steadfastness or steadiness. That mind, which is really giving the effulgence within, and which is of the form of immortality, that mind, let it be pure and auspicious. This is the prayer. Now, we can take the next meaning. That is, instead of taking this mantra, devata, as mind, we can take the mantra devata as the Atman. Then it is very easy here to understand. As far as this mantra is concerned, it is easy to take the meaning as Atman. Because Amritam is there and Antaha Jyoti is there. Because of these two words, it is easy to take the meaning as Atman. Then how it will be? See, Yad Prajnanam, the Atman. The Atman, Prajnana means Atman. As in the Mahavakya, Prajnanam Brahma, Prajnanam is the Atman. The Atman, Yad Jyotihi Antaha, which is the light within, which is the effulgence within, and Amritam, which is really of the form of, or in the form of immortality, and Chetaha Dhritischa, which is giving life, Chetaha, Chetayati, or Chetayate, it is Chetaha, which is making all beings but living beings, by which all these beings are living, that is Chetaha, and Dhritischa, which is holding everything, which is holding everything. That Dhriti So that self, that Atman, which is getting all the knowledge, which is getting all the cognitions, and which is giving life to all beings, and which is holding everything together, and that which is really of the form of effulgence within all beings, and without which no activities are being performed, that Atman, let it make my mind pure and auspicious. Let that Atman make my mind pure. This is the meaning. So here also, as in the earlier mantras, the Rishi is praying for us, or he is showing what to be prayed for. We have to pray for getting our own mind pure and filled with auspicious thoughts. When the mind is pure, all our words, all our deeds, everything will become pure. All our individuality, whole personality, whole individuality will become pure and serene. And that is the only way to reach or to have the highest knowledge and thereby the highest realization in this life. So that is prayed for. Let us go through this mantra once more. Yat prajnānamudaiti dhridishcha yajjotirāṃ prajāsu yasmānna'ṛte kinchana karma kriyate tanme manaḥ śivasaṅkalpamastu. So, acharyas, great acharyas like Uvada and Mahidhara have given exhaustive commentaries for this mantra. And we are studying this sukta to have a clear idea regarding the state of mind or the part the mind is playing in our sadhanas and how we have to maintain it well trained, keep it pure, how it is possible, and what are the thoughts to be shared for that. All these things are there in the sukta, and with that aim, we are studying this sukta. So whatever doubt you have in this regard, you can ask. If I know, I will reply. So we can use time for the question answer session now. Next mantra, that is the fourth mantra, we can take in our next sitting.
Nobody has come forward for questions.
Then it is good.
So if anyone, yeah, it's coming.
The first mantra, yajjāgrato dūramudaiti daivaṃ, tadu suptasya tathaivaiti. So, in the sleeping state, is it coming near us or going away from us?
See, in the sleeping stage, there are two separate stages. That is how we will get avasthatrayam. Regarding waking state, there is no doubt. Then in the sleep state, there are two stages. One, the dream stage, and the other deep sleep, which we call sushupti. So swapna and sushupti are there. So here it is said, suptasya tathaivaiti. Tathaiva, in the same way. Tathaiva means in the same way or in the same manner. Eti, goes. Eti means goes. So by this suptasya, it is meant for one who is in the dream state, not the sushupti state. Because in the sushupti state, we are going nowhere. It is the only state where we are remaining in ourselves. In the waking state, we are wandering here and there. And so also, in the dream state, we are wandering. Only difference is, this wandering is in a subtle way. The wandering which we were doing in the waking state was in the gross way. Here it is in a subtle way. That is the only difference. So, when we are considering something, when we are knowing something, when we are cognizing something, we are going away from ourselves. Because in the waking state, we are moving here and there, or we are wandering here and there with the help of these senses of knowledge, jnanendriyas. But in the dream state, they are taking rest. They are having rest. So they are not going. But the mind is going. So all the samskaras of the waking state are there in this sukshma sharira, in the subtle body. And with that subtle body, we are wandering in the dream state. And in the sushupti state, we are remaining in ourselves, stopping all these wanderings. We are remaining in our own self. And that is why we are getting what we call, we cannot say it as absolute bliss, but of course, we can use that word, bliss we are getting. We are getting bliss. But there is a curtain of ignorance still remaining. That is why we are saying, I was having that bliss within, but I do not know where I was. I do not know where I was. But I was having that bliss within. That means the bliss is there, along with that ignorance also was there. If that ignorance is not there, just imagine what it would be. It would be absolute bliss. That is, cessation of all bondages will be there. But it is not happening because of that ignorance. So we cannot say we are experiencing absolute bliss, but still it was experience of bliss. Because we are not going here and there. We are remaining in ourselves. So here it is said, tathaivaiti. It is going out in the same way, in the same manner as in the Jagra stage. So it is a dream state, and in the dream state we are going far away from our own self. If we are stopping that wandering, then it is a sushupti. It is beautifully explained in the Prajānāṃ. See, in the waking state and in the dream state, all our limbs, all our organs were wandering here and there. And just like birds flying and roaming everywhere, and in the evening, they all fly back to their own places of stay, nest. And on that tree, they will all unite together. And they will become a part of that. In the same way, all our organs, all our senses of knowledge, wandering here and there in the waking and dream state, all return back to the self. And just like birds becoming one with that tree, all these are becoming one with our own self. This is the state of Sushupti. So that is the answer. Namaste.
Next question is from Rajani ji.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste.
Yeah, so this is in continuation. Last to last week, I think we had started. You had started explaining. The question was the difference between vritti, vasana, and samskara. And before that, I had a question regarding today's class, in which you had. I wanted to know whether this chetaha that you spoke about, is it same as chitta that we are talking antahkaran instrument?
Chetaha, the meaning differs. For example, we can take it as to chetayati or chetayate iti chetaha, that which is giving life to all beings. Then the meaning of chetaha will be Atman. The meaning of chetaha will be Atman. And normal meaning, normally in our normal usage, we will take chetaha as to mean intelligence or intellect. Then it would mean buddhi. Chetaha, buddhi.
Okay.
So, according to the place where we are using that, we have to take the meaning.
Okay, so it is not
Yeah.
chittam.
Not chittam, we cannot say so also, because see, this mind, manas, buddhi, the intellect, then the chittam, then ahankaram. All these are really one and the same antakarana. And according to functions, we are dividing, we are categorizing. And sometimes this categorization won't work. For example, see, sankalpa vikalpa, that is, these are the activities of the mind. These are the activities of the mind. And along with that, buddhi works. That is, mind is giving many options or many choices, and buddhi is selecting one from them. And these two activities are happening simultaneously. But for the sake of a student, while we are studying these vrittis, we are dividing, we are categorizing. This is mind, this is buddhi. But actually, when they work, they are working simultaneously. So it is very difficult for us to divide this. In the same way, see, chitta is storing all these things, and it is responsible for memory. So it is the memorizing faculty. So it also works simultaneously. So all these activities are happening together, and for the sake of studying or for proper understanding, we are categorizing these too many.
Okay.
So we cannot put them into watertight compartments.
Okay.
I think it is clear.
One more regarding chittam.
Yeah.
You said it was storing all the memories from all the past lifetimes, right?
Yeah.
I had also read that it is the light of awareness somebody had explained it like that. Can we explain it like that too?
When we are taking it to mean the awareness, this awareness, it is manifesting. This awareness is manifesting through collective action of mind, antakarana and chitta. Mind, buddhi and chitta. The collective activity of these three makes this awareness. But inquire still more deeper. From where this awareness is coming? Manifestation is coming through these instruments. There is no doubt. It is true. But to manifest, there must be something within. And what is that? Then we will reach to the self, to the Atman. So who is making this awareness? Really, it is the Jivatma. It is the Jivatma. And that awareness is manifested through collective activity of manas, buddhi and chitta.
Okay.
Yeah. So if some acharyas are writing like that, there is nothing wrong in that. But we have to go still deeper and analyze.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my last week's question, vritti, vasana and samskara,
Yeah.
difference?
See, vritti, vasana and samskara. See, now I am seeing this book. And I am understanding this to be a book. So this is a cognition. This is a cognition. How this is happening? There are many explanations. And according to our Vedanta Shastra, or according to the teachings of our acharyas, there are two processes or two stages. The first stage is vritti vyapti and the second stage is bhala vyapti. And what are they? In the first stage, my antakarana, that is mind, it is taking the form of this book. It is taking the form of the object. That is, a vritti is formed within the antakarana. Vritti of what? Vritti of this book is formed within my own antakarana. That is called vritti vyapti. And I myself, it is giving light to that vritti. And when I am giving light to that vritti, I am understanding this as a book. So this is bhala vyapti. These two working together is giving cognition, or is responsible for that cognition. So here, take this case. My antakarana, my mind is taking the form of so many vrittis. So many. At present, if we analyze our own self, we will find there are thousands and thousands of vrittis within. So what is the vritti? Vritti is that evolution of the mind stuff, or the process or the phenomenon of taking the form of an object. So the mind is taking the form of an object. That phenomenon, that process is called a vritti. See, in an ocean, there are thousands and thousands of waves. All these waves are there in the ocean. It's a part of the ocean. But even though it is, these are parts of ocean, we are seeing these waves in the ocean. So we will say, waves are there in the ocean. Is there a one wave, even a one wave is there, which is having any individuality other than that ocean? No, it's a part of that ocean. It is one with that ocean. It has no separate individuality other than that ocean. No separate individuality is there. But at the same time, we are seeing that wave and we are saying waves are there in the ocean. Just like that. Within our own mental stuff, thousands and thousands of waves are formed. And these waves are called vrittis. Now, when I am giving light, or I am taking one vritti to myself, and I am giving light to that, I am enlightening that, then it will become a separate or a particular cognition. And when that happens, it will create a samskara within. It will create a samskara within. And there are much more ways for getting samskara within. Not only from cognitions. See, when we are working with our organs of actions, we are speaking. Of course, mind is there behind. We are taking or giving. Of course, mind is there within or behind. We are walking or jumping or running. Of course, mind is there behind. We are excreting. There also, mind is there behind. Then we are doing sexual activities. There also, mind is there behind. So, all the organs of action and all senses of knowledge, all these are working. And of course, mind is behind them. As soon as they work, a certain samskara will be stored in the chitta. That is, all these activities will make one samskara. One samskara means thousands and thousands of samskara. For each vibration, there will be a samskara. These samskaras will stay in the chitta like inscriptions. They are inscribed there. And from the samskara, vasana will come. Just like a seed, from a seed, a plant is manifesting. It is coming out. Just like that, from the samskara, vasana will come. We can roughly translate vasana as a tendency. Tendency. So, karma, from karma, samskaras are there, and from samskara, vasana will come, and vasana will propel us for further activities. Vasana will propel from within, it will push up. And because of that push, because of that propulsion, we will do more and more activities. And for that activity, samskara will be there. And from that again, vasana will come. So in this way, the circle of karma will go on and on. So, vritti, samskara and vasana, they are related. Without vritti, no activity, let it be of sense of knowledge or organ of action, will be there. So from vritti, all these are functioning, and from them, this samskara will be formed, and from samskara, again vasana, and from vasana, further activity, and for that vritti is essential. So, behind everything, vritti is there. So, through vritti nirodha, that is samadhi or samahita sthiti, all this will be under control. For complete cessation of activities or complete deletion of vasanas will happen through vritti nirodha. So this is the connection between that.
So that was the chitta vritti nirodha.
Yeah,
in
of
Patanjali.
course.
Maybe
Namaste.
someday you can explain that also much in detail. Maybe next class I'll ask that question.
Yeah, of course. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste.
My question is about you are in Madhavananda Swamiji's ashram in Gujarat. So please tell us about Param Pujaniya Madhavananda Swami and Vimalananda Swami.
Yes. Now, actually, I will turn this camera a little. Now you are seeing one side of the Mahasamadhi Mandir of Param Pujya Madhavananda Swamiji. This is not the front side. I can show you the front side.
Okay, maybe after the class
you
can show
after
us.
the class I can show that.
Yeah.
And you can have darshan and you must give dakshina to me.
Sure, Swamiji.
Yes. Now, Madhavananda Swamiji, Swami Madhavananda was a great scholar, and in the first part of 19th century, he was that much famous in Gujarat. Actually, Madhavanji came from Kerala only. In his pre-monastic life, what he was doing, I am not sure. Because once our Swamiji told me he was a sub-inspector in the police force. And on another occasion, Swamiji said he was an accountant in the Guruvayur. I don't know. However, in his young age itself, he accepted the life of a sannyasi. And in those days, there was a great saint by the name Ramananda Puri. He was living in Benares and in the Himalayas. And Swamiji accepted sannyasa from that great saint. And then Swamiji came to Gujarat for Narmada Parikrama. And after doing Narmada Parikrama, Swamiji started living in the different places in Gujarat, like Chanod and some other places in the shore of Narmada ji. Then Swamiji lived for some years in Kheda Mahadeva temple. And after that, he came to Ahmedabad. It was in 1939, Swamiji purchased a piece of land with the help of his devotees and established Madhavananda Ashram here in Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad is a municipality some 25, 26 kilometers from Ahmedabad city center. Of course, now it is a part of Ahmedabad Urban Development Authority. So Swamiji was here, and he was that much famous in Gujarat in those days because of his knowledge and his greatness. And he wrote a very big book in Gujarati. The name is Vedartha Chindamani. In that book, Swamiji is taking different subjects for discussions. For example, tapas. For example, tapas. Then he will give a definition for that tapas. What is tapas? What is the definition of tapas? Then he will take quotation from Veda, Rukku, Yaju, Sama, and Adharva. Then from Mahabharata, Ramayana, then Itihasas, Puranas, and other Dharma Shastras. So like that, different terms from our scriptures will be taken and discussed in detail. That is Vedartha Chindamani in 3 volumes. Vedartha Chindamani is available. Of course, it is in Gujarati language. And Swamiji lived here for 9 years in this ashram. On the day of Guru Purnima in the year 1948, Swamiji accepted Mahasamadhi. He entered Mahasamadhi. That was a great event. Before that, our Swamiji, that is Swami Vimalanji Maharaj, came to Madhavanandaji, and he became a disciple of Madhavanandaji. And in the last part of 1947, Swamiji went for a pilgrimage to Kailas, Manasarovar. Then itself, Madhavanandaji, as far as I heard, asked him not to go now. You can go later. But somehow Swamiji went. And every Guru Purnima day, many people used to come here, and Swamiji and his inner circle of devotees would give prasad to all. And on that particular day, that is the Guru Purnima of 1948, Swamiji asked everybody to take prasada, have prasada. But the inner circle of devotees used to have prasada with Swamiji. So they said, no, Swamiji, we are not taking prasada, we will take together. Then Swamiji asked them, no, you go and have food. Then some devotees, then they went and they had food, but some waited for Swamiji to come. Then Swamiji entered to his room, and he sat there in Sukhasana. Some says it was in Padmasana posture he was sitting. Some others said it was not Padmasana, he sat in his Sukhasana. Then after some times, devotees went inside, and then Swamiji was sitting there. Then they waited still, and after some time again they went in. He was sitting there. Then finally they realized Swamiji has entered Mahasamadhi. So that was in the year 1948. Then even before entering into Mahasamadhi, he instructed his inner circle of devotees to perform Bhu Samadhi Kriya here. And he himself planted 3 Ashokpal trees and showed them the place in between that, in the middle of these three trees. But now you can see the Ashokpal tree now. This is that Ashokpal tree. This one, 3 trees are there. So in the middle, Samadhi temple is built. And after pilgrimage to Manasarovar and Kailasashram, Kailasam, Vimalanji came back. And after his coming back, this Samadhi temple was constructed. And Swamiji was here from 1948 to 2009. It was in the year 2009, June 9th, Swamiji entered Mahasamadhi. Till then, for the long 61 years, Swamiji was here. Of course, Swami Vimalanji also came from Kerala, a great scholar by himself. And actually, when Swamiji was a young boy, he was instructed by Srinarayana Guru to learn Samskrita. And as instructed by Srinarayana Guru, Swamiji studied Samskrita. And Swamiji considers his life itself is a blessing of Srinarayana Guru. He was a great scholar in Vyakarana, in Nyaya, in Vedanta, and the whole Vedic lore. He was an authority. What else you want to ask? You can ask.
Yeah. Next question is from Kamalaji. Kamalaji, you are muted. Please unmute and ask.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste.
I heard
Namaste.
Swami Nityayadi went to Vimalananda Swamiji and, he wanted to join there. And then Vimalananda Swamiji told Yadi that you have to go back and Kerala.
Aha.
Have you heard anything about it?
I do not know that.
Okay. Yeah. And I will come to my question.
It is possible because this ashram is here from 1939, and Madhavanji was that much famous, and of course Vimalanji also.
Yeah.
And Vimalanandaji, his pre-monastic name was Sambashivan, and when he was a small boy of 2.5 years, a dog with rabies attacked him. In those days, if such incident happens, the only way is to die. But his mother took the child to Srinarayana Gurudeva, and Srinarayana Guru gave some herbs, and with that Swamiji was cured, that child was cured. They were living in Tiruvandavapuram those days. And the plan of the family was to put this Sambashivan in the English school. And while he was a student of sixth forum, he, along with 2 other friends, heard Srinarayana Guru is coming to some nearby home. And from school, instead of going back to home, they went to that place. Then Srinarayana Guru was sitting there. So many devotees were around. And these boys, to see Guru, they climbed on a small piece of rock. Seeing that, Guru called them. And with all fear, these three boys approached Guru. Then, with all love and care, he gave plantain fruits. And then he asked the Sambasivan, taking him to his side, "Oh, my boy, you must learn Samskrita." And because of this, instead of going to English school, he joined the Tiruvandhuram Sanskrit school. Tiruvandhuram Sanskrit College was a Sanskrit school in those days. And after completing his matriculation, Swamiji went to Benares for further studies, and he joined there as a student of Shastri, and he completed Shastri in Vedanta there. It was during that period he heard about this Madhavananda Swamiji from one Shankarananda Swami, and from Benares he came to Gujarat, and as instructed by Madhavananda ji, he went back to Benares and completed the Shastri studies. And finally, he accepted sannyasa diksha in the traditional way from Madhavananda ji. Actually, when Swamiji Vimalananda ji reached Benares, he met some sannyasins there who were from Kerala and Tamil Nadu. And quite naturally, as this boy was from Kerala, with all love and care, they asked, "What is your plan? How you are going to study Samskrita? As a regular student or as a sannyasi?" This was the question. Swamiji had no plans. The answer came to his mouth is, "As a sannyasi, I am going to study." Actually, what a sannyasin's life is, he was not aware of that. But this was the answer that came. And then itself, they gave him ochre cloth. Kashaya Vastra they gave. And the name Vimalananda also they gave. So Swamiji was studying Samskrita there, and he completed Shastri, and in between he came to Gujarat and got discipleship of Madhavananda ji. And later, after completing Shastri, Madhavanji initiated him to traditional sannyasa, and he became Swami Vimalananda Puri. And from 1948 onwards, Swamiji looked after this. So many great scholars came here and stayed with Swamiji in his early days. Our Vedananda Saraswati Swami and Swami Kaivalyananda ji, all these great scholars came here and lived with Swamiji for some months. And Shashwatigananda ji of Shivagiri Mutt, he also came here and stayed here, lived with Swamiji. And all the life Swamiji kept a connection with Varkala Shivagiri Mutt and also with that Narayana Gurukula. So there is chance, I don't know. I didn't hear about that incident. But there is possibility, of course.
Swamiji, there is one person here in our group now, Mr. Vijayan, who is very close to Vimalananda Puri. He was there, and almost every day he used to meet and used to talk, very close to Swamiji.
In which year?
Yeah, he's here. Mr. Vijayan, he used to attend regularly. Today, I think, because I'm joining with I can't see him. So I
yeah,
don't
right,
know.
right,
Yeah.
right. In early days, Swamiji used to take classes and do pravachans. In Gujarati, it is said katha. They're calling it katha, Bhagavata katha and all. But later he stopped all these things and was staying in the ashram, and many seekers came here. Yeah, it is possible.
And how you happen to land there, Swamiji?
These are big stories. See, it's a long story. It's a long story. How I will reply, I don't know. I think
Another day.
Next day, another day, we can narrate that.
Yeah. Now we will see
Today,
the
now it
photos,
is
Swamiji.
only 3-4 minutes are there remaining.
Yeah, yeah.
We will see you will take us to the samadhi and all.
We can.
So you want to have the darshan of samadhi?
Yeah.
Eh?
Yes.
Yes. Then you must give me dakshina.
Definitely.
Yes. This is I'm keeping the camera like this. And now we are inside the Samadhi Mandir. This is the Pidha. You are seeing the Pidha now. This is Samadhi Pidha. And this is the Akhanda Deepa. It is burning since 1948. Now I don't know whether we will get a Wi-Fi inside the hole. Still we can try. Here you can see the statue of Madhavananda Swamiji. Are you seeing?
Yes,
Yeah,
Swamiji.
yes. Yes, Swamiji. Yeah, very clear.
You can go inside. This is the statue of Madhavananda Swamiji. This is the photograph of Vimalananda ji. Our Monia is here.
Oh. Where is she? Yeah.
This is our Swamini.
Swamini, Amma, Namaskaram.
Yeah.
Namaste.
She's not. So I think today we can close this. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryangara Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you, Swamiji. We feel blessed by seeing all this that ashram inside.
Very good, very good. Namaste. Namaste.